There's a credit card called Bilt, BILT. It is a MasterCard, and it is the first credit card of its kind where you can pay your rent on it. It's like, this is not something that I'm promoting, but given the current state of the economy and things, if all else fails, I'll go bankrupt.
You single or you guys? What you doing?
Jesus Christ!
I'm just saying. They might want
Numero Uno, I'm the one, not the two. Yeah, I'm good, thanks for asking, how are you? Numero Uno, I'm the one, not the two. They seem to be confused, so let me show them what the music is. They full of lies and let me tell them what the truth is. Ain't worried about what you said, he said, she said. Ain't shit but what the king said. Focus on my riches, I'm just trying to keep my team fed. Making sure my children eat.
On tonight's episode of the Numero Uno podcast, we got the American dream and the road to home ownership in 2025. And if you're moving to the DMV area or you're already living in the DMV area but you're looking to buy a home, what's the most affordable places to be looking to move to? Stay tuned. What up, world? I want to welcome y'all back to another episode of the Numero Uno podcast. I'm your host, Young South, and I'm here with my fabulous co-host.
It's your girl, Lil Nene from the Trap, Brian the Trapper, though.
It's your girl, Shawan, a.k.a. Sis, and who that?
Jewel, that social worker.
Yeah. Y'all already know what it is. And we got a guest with us today.
My name's Ashley. I'm your preferred realtor.
Say it again. I don't think they heard me.
Ashley, your preferred realtor. Welcome to the team. All right. And today we do got a new little game on us. We gonna play this thing called Uno Flip today, and I'm gonna go ahead and get these cards out to y'all.
You know how to play.
Don't worry about how many. I know to play Uno, but we gotta discuss the rules beforehand.
Don't worry, we got you.
Okay.
House rules.
So this is a different little Uno. A lot of people might not have played this one yet. I'm gonna be honest with you. When we get to that part, we're gonna have to just explain it. Okay. Because it's a lot. I hold all these cards in my hand.
You didn't play the flip of you?
So we getting 7 cards today?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
You're gonna put the cards and everyone sees the cards though.
No, you gotta play. You'll see.
Wait and see.
Yeah.
It's two sides to these cards.
Yeah, it's flip. So like, you know how little kids be trying to cheat all the time? This game eliminate all the little kids cheating because it don't matter. And you gonna see.
Yeah.
You gonna see.
Really don't.
You can't pay attention.
You can't pay attention.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm putting these cards on here and I ain't counted.
Right. Oh Lord!
So, yeah,
all right, niggas gonna have 8 cards.
Start counting y'all cards.
Oh no!
I have 6.
All right.
So Miss Ash,
Why
don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and a little bit about your backstory? Because you got a pretty interesting story. I done heard a little bit of it, but yeah. So we let you get started with that.
Well, I'm from PG County. I've been a full-time realtor for the last almost 8 years. Before I became a realtor, I worked at a real estate law firm where we focused on like foreclosures, bankruptcies, and evictions. But at the time, my son was younger, and it was one of those jobs where like you had to show up. You know what I'm saying? Like 9 to 5. It was in Tyson's. The commute was like, this was before like the metro was a thing.
The drive over there.
Yeah, the drive was horrendous.
We started on
but
the regular Uno side.
Regular Uno side. So this side.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did I get into real estate? My son's father passed away when he was 3. And he passed away when I was at the law firm. So the law firm was well aware that like it was just me and my son now, right? And that mattered because he was playing football and I needed to go to Florida with him to go to like a football thing. He might have been like 5. So 2 years, like I had already been at the firm for a minute, and I worked. You know, I was the lead. I'm sorry, we didn't make sure everybody got 9 cards before we start playing.
Shit, 9.
You got too many, I think. I got 9.
Yeah, put that right back.
See what I'm saying? I knew that one right. Just
cheating already.
Wow.
All right,
so go ahead.
All right, so yeah, he needed to go to Florida, and I put in a request to leave. Like I needed to leave, and I'll never forget the manager and partner telling me like I could go, but I'd be skating on thin ice if I go. And I kind of was like,
I mean, you might not have a job when you
like what you mean?
Like, can I go or not?
Like what you mean I'm gonna be skating on thin ice when I'm like the lead of my department? Like I didn't skate on thin like that. It was wild to me. And my attorney that I had worked for seemed like how upset I was about it, and he asked me like, "Have you ever considered being a realtor?" And I was like, well, what's a realtor? And he was like, well, we, take people's homes, but it's people that sell people homes. And I was like, well, I ain't never been to college, so like, what type of degree you need for that? And he was like, you don't really need no degree, you just need to like take these classes, pass the test, et cetera, et cetera. And so long story short, I took the classes, I passed it, I saved up 6 months of savings, like to pay my bills, and I quit. And I ain't been back to work since.
Damn.
Like I ain't been back to work in a corporate world since. Like that's how I started like my real estate situation.
That's what's up. So you say you're a realtor or you're a real estate agent? Is it
Realtor. Yeah, it's a difference.
All
I
right,
was
so
about to say,
what's
yeah, that's what I was gonna ask
Educate
you.
me, because
I don't know the difference.
I would be like, both of them.
A real estate agent and a realtor is whose goal is it? My girl. A real estate agent and a realtor. A realtor, we are a part of the National Association of Realtors, NAR. You have to pay to be a part of it, and we are just basically bound by a different code of ethics versus a real estate agent. Like you're not required to be a realtor, but you cannot use like the realtor logo or anything of that if you are not a member of the National Association of Realtors.
So those are janky people.
No,
So why would they not go get the realtor association? Like, why would
because it's
somebody
fees
be
and
independent?
like if you don't want to pay like the membership fees and the dues and things like that, like NAR definitely like advocates for us in different capacities. Some, and this is like a controversial subject. Some people see the benefit of NAR. Other people don't see the benefit of NAR. The major thing is like just being bound to like a certain code of ethics. I'm not gonna speak on if I feel like it's beneficial or not, but my Instagram name is YourPreferredRealtor. So whether I wanted to or not,
already
I'm
know.
You
alright.
just know what you gotta do.
Nah,
It is what it is. I think it's on you.
Yeah, it's really good. So for somebody that's, I guess, looking to buy a home in this area, or if they already from the DMV, what area should they be looking at? I guess that's most affordable.
So I like to say that real estate is subjective. And it's like art, right? Like what one person likes, the next person doesn't like. And so I think that in today's market, with our area being not affordable for the average person, like our area, with our area not being affordable, I think it's more so important to focus on a 2 to 5 year plan and understand that your first home is not your forever home, and strategically buy something that is going to make sense for you. Maybe it doesn't make sense right now, but it'll make sense in the next 2 to 5 years, in a sense of buying in at the bottom of a market, or buying something that necessarily doesn't check off all of your check marks, but it's simply putting you in the game, because then you can take that first property and leverage it for like the next one and the next one and the next one, right? Because the whole thing with real estate, like not everybody wants to be a landlord, right? And not everybody wants to be an investor. And in all transparency, in my opinion, at one point in time when I first got into real estate, it was our slogan was, it's cheaper to buy than it is to rent. I'm not going to be the realtor to tell you that in today's market it's cheaper to buy than it is to rent. It's not. It's cheaper to rent right now than it is to buy.
Yeah,
But
that's what I said. But in the times make a big difference.
With buying, you have a little bit more leverage, and you have a little bit more, like you just have a little bit more power, even if it's not like cheaper. But and for the people that have like waited, a lot of people have waited themselves out of the market, just waiting for that like perfect aesthetic home.
Perfect interest rate.
Yeah, like you're never, you know what I mean? It's never a wrong or a right time to buy. I think when it comes to affordability, I think it's just about being realistic on what it is that's going to make sense for you in the next couple of years, because your first home is not your forever home. We're not staying here forever, right? We just need it to get in. And once you're in, that's the finesse to like be able to maneuver and stuff. You know what I mean? So I think like you got Jewel and Janae did an amazing job of understanding when I was breaking that down to them, and not going after the. And I'll say, as a realtor, I understand like social media has hyped up home ownership in the capacity of you need this mass aesthetically pleasing home, right? And it's like
5, 6 bedrooms, a basement.
Your first home don't have to be that. It could be a condo. It could be a 2-bedroom condo or 1-bedroom condo or whatever like makes sense for your family dynamic.
What they call
the container home.
Too, you know. But you also have to know your market, and so I think like we do ourselves a disservice when we get on the internet and you hear people say like, "Oh, the market's gonna crash," and this and that and the third. A market might crash, but we live in the DMV area, and so like I'll never speak to a Florida market or a Tennessee market, or I'll never speak overall about the market, because market market is area specific. And so in reference to like the DC market, do we see a crash? Our numbers have increased majorly within the last 4 years. Within the last 12 months, you can see the different areas that have gone up 15, 20, 30% in property value in a sense where it's like, damn, I could have bought last year, but I was waiting for like this interest rate to drop. If an interest rate drop, it doesn't matter if the price increased.
Because you still gonna make money anyway.
It doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
Because you gonna make money when you sell it, or you decide to, rent it out.
So to answer your question, I think affordability is going to come down to finances. Like everyone's finances is different. Yeah, like where you at, and like, but I will say, and I can't stress this enough. Your first home is not your forever home. It doesn't have to be the most aesthetically pleasing house. It doesn't have to be the biggest house on the block. It just has to make sense, and the numbers, like the rental market needs to make sense for it, or the potential equity growth within 24 months needs to make sense. And when you take your emotions out of real estate and just really look at the number breakdown, I think a lot more people would be more inclined. Would be more inclined to get into it. But a lot of times we buy with emotions.
Basically, a long-term game. Basically, you gotta be patient. Basically.
The color is blue.
There you go. Somebody.
The color is going to be green.
Just get it. No.
Speed this game up.
All right, hold on.
Right.
Yeah, because that's crazy. Like I wouldn't even. I don't even. I'm one of those people that think that it's like out of my reach. Like
it's really
as job wise, what I make, what you need to have, and then while you there, what you gonna pay every month. Like
I don't think it's out of reach.
Kind of
I think it's. I'm gonna cut you off. I don't think it's out of reach. I think it's what you want it to be. Like what you want versus what you could potentially get. You're focusing on the want versus what you can get now, and it should be more so of let me jump into this right now and see. Things change. A year, 2 years, things change, and you can take that property and leverage it to go get whatever you want to get.
That's the biggest thing.
So it's not. I don't think it's out of reach for you. I think you're just not being realistic with what you can obtain right now, and what you can obtain is not what you want. So you're not moving forward with it.
Right.
You're just like, I'm not gonna do it at all.
Yeah, we're just gonna see.
Biggest house.
Wait.
Yeah.
I see that balance right there. I see that because. At the end of the day, it has to be about making money now. It's not just about, it's about being, you always going to be comfortable. But if you can make money off of what you're doing while you're doing it, that's always a plus. And that's where everybody need to be at, I guess, in 2025 anyway, so.
It's your go.
It's my turn? I thought it reversed.
So as far as I guess somebody looking, what position should a person be in? What should they have before they even start trying to look at houses? I know you can always browse, dream and shit, but what should a person if you ready tomorrow? What should you have in line before somebody would contact you?
Color's blue.
I think that initially you just want to start with your credit score. A 640 or higher will qualify you for any programs within the area typically. A 620, you're pretty much golden. Buying a house is not like buying a car. So that mindset of I need to wait until I get to an 800. The color's red. I need to get to an 800 before I buy a house. It doesn't matter. The rates are regulated. It's not like buying a car, right? And so I would say that if you don't know where you stand, it doesn't hurt to just reach out to a lender and potentially get pre-approved. Uno. Potentially.
I gotta change the color, nigga. I'm in trouble.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
But yeah, I would say reach out to a realtor or a real estate agent. A lot of us have lenders that we work with. It's nothing to reach out to a lender and be like, hey, I'm potentially trying to buy a house. This is what I'm doing. Let the lender do a soft credit pull and kind of give you a plan from there. I'm not one of those people to be like, oh, work with a credit specialist before you come to me. Because the credit specialist is not the person giving you the money. So while they might be great to raise your score, they might leave something on the table that might still disqualify you. So it really doesn't cost anything to work with a lender and be like, I'm potentially trying to buy a house within the next 6 months to a year. What do I need to do? What does it look like for me? And the lender will look at your overall financial situation, your bank statements, whatever, and be like, look, you're good. You get pre-approved right now. Or we need to do X, Y, and Z. Let's do X, Y, and Z for the next 90 days or the next 6 months. And then before the end of the year, we can rock out and do blah, 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 blah. Right? So I think like your initial step before purchasing a house is one, reach out to a real estate agent, reach out to a lender and see where you stand. And even if you're not ready to buy today or tomorrow or even next month, you don't know what you don't know. Right? And so I think a lot of times fear holds us back and we're like, oh, I'm not ready.
Yeah, at least you can learn something.
Yeah, at least you can. And you very well might be ready.
I'm trying to be ready for it.
Yeah, that's my testimony. Because honestly,
it's on you, Miss Uno.
Oh, so
my mama is still on like Section 8, get benefits, like she on disability. Like I used to be thinking like, oh, damn, good for me, good for you, but bad for me. Actually.
There you go.
But yeah, I used to feel like my mom, you know, the way I looked at life is more so like you feel like you'll repeat the same pattern of what you done seen. So it was definitely a leap of faith for me to even think, damn, they gonna give me money and they gonna trust me to pay them back? Because you get always told, don't ask somebody for money. All right.
Okay, numero
Damn, all right, numero uno today. Okay. But yeah, that's really how I felt though. I was like, damn, I might not be able to do this. I'm gonna have to wait till I'm 40, settle down. Like, what is settle down? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you got flip
All right, so this card right
Here we go.
So what we gonna do is everybody's gonna flip everything. We're gonna flip the cards in our hand. We now playing with the opposite side. We're gonna flip the deck and we're gonna flip the pile.
Everything gets flipped.
The color is this teal color.
Okay. I don't really like that. I'm sorry. We're gonna go back to.
Wait, hold on. We on this side.
So it's
She said, hold on. Cards back over because I was about to win.
No, I can't use this card.
No, it has to be a teal color.
It has to be
Or
a
that
teal.
same color.
Oh, okay. Well, it's gonna be purple.
Okay, damn. Okay.
But yeah, to your point, I think within our community, within itself, even when it comes to like credit cards and like not understanding how to like use your credit to grow your credit and like how to like live off of credit. You know what I'm saying? I think like our community is just used to don't that we put ourselves in like a block of not moving forward and that fear
Oh, flip
tactic.
it on back.
Yeah, and that comes from a lot of that comes from back in the days. You know, a lot of people's parents wasn't taking no risk. They was getting their little government job, working. The investment thing is like,
That was that.
you know, our generation more on that now. Like, how can I make some money?
But that's
without
also
having to
because
work?
like back in the day, like the cost of living actually was affordable.
Yeah.
Even down to college
I
and
look at
stuff,
so
though.
much stuff today, like back then, like it's like, dang, if I only knew that.
Yeah.
Like if I only knew
Like
that.
even when we was like fresh out of high school,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? If we
That's
would have
what I'm
rocked
saying.
out for five and knew the path like 5
shit I was
years
doing
out of high
back then,
school.
I would have never known because I wasn't in the
I didn't never learn that.
Turn that.
My mind wasn't on none of that
If I knew
shit.
whatever
If
happened in 2016,
what?
and just in 2016 alone.
Hold on, you just calling Uno? How long you done had Uno? Do you need to draw 2
Oh,
cards?
he gave me.
Did
No,
you
you
go?
gotta draw
House
2
rules
cards
because
because
you didn't.
you
Stop
go.
playing.
Yeah,
she already
Oh yeah.
Oh, you come in and you can't give me a
He's trying to get me out.
You nay? That's
So
definitely
when
a
you
fact.
talk about credit, what's something? Because I've seen you talk about this on Instagram, how you run your credit quick up, what people say, but you learn how to manage your credit, where you pay. You know, you can speak on to that because I know. I was probably on Instagram, so I know some of the things you've been talking about. You said like the phone bill, like stuff like that. So what's some insight to that?
Yeah, so I pay some of my bills up front for the year, but I pay it like on my credit card, but then I pay my credit card back immediately. So the thing is, you're never buying things on your credit card that you don't already have the money for in your checking account, right? Like that you don't physically have the money for, right? So it's like I'm not getting credit and being like, oh, I don't have $2,000 in my account, but I'm gonna go charge $2,000. I have the money in my account. I'm simply using my credit card because my credit card gives me cash back. They give me flight miles. They give me rewards. They give me all of these things. And so I might as well use a credit card and just pay that back. And then the more you use your credit, they're like, oh, shit, let me give her some more. Let me give her some more. Let me give her some more. You know what I mean? And as long as you're managing it,
Like a
it's
trusted
like
person.
Yeah, trusted. That's the key
That's
word.
so crazy because I was doing that, but even now, like I don't know. Like I like to hold on to my money, even though it's not cash, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I get my paycheck into my bank account. Like, and then I go do something.
Niggas trying
I'm
to stack
swipe my
something.
credit card. I'm like, I don't want to spend my money, and I'm like, fuck. Like you said, I have that money, but do I go and pay this shit right back?
Well, yeah, you
No,
pay it.
I don't,
You
but
pay
I
it back
to.
so that you can get
Yeah.
an increased line of credit. Because here's the thing, right?
I'm
Like,
fucking up.
here's the thing.
A higher limit.
Life at any point in time could go left. I'm in a commission-based
Facts.
industry. I don't get a paycheck every 2 weeks. I don't get a paycheck twice a month. I don't have a guaranteed paycheck. So at any given time, my life deals can fall apart and no money can come in. Like no money's coming in. Worst case scenario, I have my credit to sustain me for however long I need it to sustain me. And if all else fails, like this is not something that I'm promoting, but given the current state of the economy and things, if all else fails, I'll go bankrupt and go and start over in 2 years. It's not my money.
Oh,
See, I don't know.
And I'm still
that
liquid.
makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not my plan.
No.
That's not my
With these kids now, you ain't never thought about like
two,
being
baby.
a teacher of any
I'm
sort
a
to
two,
like
baby.
teach.
Well, I'm a
you
mentor with
classes to-
DCPS.
Okay,
where like
great.
I try to teach real estate and stuff.
Keynote
I like
speaker,
that
y'all
because-
better know
but-
that.
Keynote.
Some people will never know. Like she mentioned, our parents. Some of our parents ain't
Never
know
taught
to
that.
teach us
Yeah.
this kind of stuff.
They don't
and
even
the
know.
schools don't care to teach people
Hell
a
no.
lot.
Yeah,
So
in
it's
school.
like definitely that would be a help.
I think like that's like my safety net. Like if all else fails, I'm bankrupt. I'm start over. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not the goal, but that's
Yeah,
but
it's an
that's
option. It is an
but
option.
it comes to it. So
Yeah.
that's why I don't mind having like, and even when you look at your report, the amount of accounts that you have on your report, the more you have, the better. But it's can you man? Like I'm never going to tell somebody to go out here and be like, oh, just blow your credit. Like no, I want you to manage it. But if you're spending $500 a week in gas. Right? Why not get those points and those miles and those things? There's even like there's a credit card. This is not a paid ad, by the way. I'm just gonna give y'all this little snippet just because. There's a credit card called Bilt, BILT. It is a MasterCard, and it is the first credit card of its kind where you can pay your rent on it. You can pay your rent on your credit card. They attach. I don't know. Don't ask me how they do it, but they do it. They attach a bank account to your credit card, like a checking number or whatever, and you can pay your rent from it. And you can get points and rewards and cash back from literally paying your rent. Right? Wow. So usually you can't
It's something
pay.
you're gonna do anyway.
Yeah.
You might as well.
I'm doing it anyway. And
Yeah.
it might be a push.
Hey.
You ain't doing it.
You
get
might
it.
as well,
You
like-
We ain't got nothing to do with the 30-day folks. We talking about you pay your bills.
Yeah. And so it's
might as
like that's I've benefited.
Drink it.
It's on you though.
I've benefited from that credit card because y'all know, like once I left here, I went to do my high rise situation, and I just paid on the credit card. Like you gonna pay your rent anyway. And so again, this is not a paid ad. Bill does not sponsor me, but it is if you're trying to like build your credit or something. Then
Yeah, she already
Been
said
out,
Uno.
Oh, yeah, she been out.
She already said Uno.
Uno out.
Then it's just
Somebody get a shot.
Oh, they really cheating tonight.
Somebody get a shot coming. Don't leave me.
So is that something you can pay your mortgage on?
so I don't know. If I've tried it. No, I don't think they've gotten to the mortgage
you
part
haven't,
yet.
okay.
But if you got
I
if
didn't
you want
know
to pay your
about
rent, yeah.
Hey.
I need to learn about that.
All the mortgages will
Everything will be paid.
Everything will be paid.
Yeah,
Getting all the
You making me draw another one?
Oh, that's
No.
crazy. It's yellow.
No,
Everybody
yeah.
had to draw anyway.
But yeah, so that's the thing. But yeah, credit is it's not as bad as like our community makes it seem. It's just like the more you use your credit, the quicker your credit will go. So a lot of times I hear people be like, my credit's not moving. Your credit not moving because you're not using it.
You ain't using it.
You're not doing nothing with it.
And paying it back
Use
fast.
it. Yeah, like you're not doing nothing with it. Like use it and pay it back. Get that cash back. Like how I keep drawing one? Oh, because there's no yellow, red.
I still gotta draw.
Yeah,
So like this past Christmas, I think we gonna run Amazon up. If we ain't, I know for me and Amazon got a problem.
I be speaking
get
against that
sponsored.
Amazon.
Yeah, but Amazon has a cashback on their credit card. I was able to do a lot of my Christmas shopping for like cashback, like through my cashback rewards. My Christmas budget comes from my cashback rewards on my credit cards through things that I'm already buying anyway, groceries, gas, whatever. Like I spend these things anyway. It's the cashback at the end of the year, and like I just save mine to the end of the year.
I feel like a lot of that says like you don't really have to have thousands just sitting in the bank to buy a house.
So there's different programs. I am not going to be the realtor to just be like stack programs.
Right.
Because for me, again, it's a conversation of what is your 2 to 5 year plan. Do you plan on staying? If you plan on staying here, stock as much as you can. Stock the programs as much as you want to, right? But just because you qualify for a program, it might not be the best thing to use a program because you get a higher. Typically you get a higher interest rate, and 2, unless it's a grant, a specific grant, and that's the key word, grant. That money gets paid back either on the back end or it gets paid in with the mortgage, and so it's like I'm paying it back and I'm paying a higher interest rate, so I'm paying, I'm paying the money back times whatever, and so it's like if you need a program to get into the market, do it, right? But if you plan on taking this property and selling it in 2 to 4 years, I do not suggest stacking programs because when it comes time for you to sell it, they're going to snatch the equity out to pay. You got to pay everything back. You know what I mean? So, but if you plan on keeping it and you're gonna rent it out in a couple of years, it doesn't matter because you're just gonna have that. It's gonna be paid off, and you're gonna get the rental income. And so, do you need thousands of dollars in the bank to buy a home? No. You have the program called NACA. It's NACA. They don't even go off your credit; they go off your payment history, and so that's great for like first-time home buyers. But it is a strenuous. It's a strenuous program for sure, but it's worth it if you could get through it. And then like Maryland, we have Maryland Mortgage Program. There's different programs out there so that you don't necessarily.
What's the best one to use or to go through?
The best one to use is whichever makes sense for your profile. Again, real estate is subjective, so what works good for me, might not work good for you, and what works good for Jewel might not work good for Janae, right? Like it just depends. So I think I always put multiple, like when the lender gives you the estimates, let's look at all the estimates. What does this estimate look like? What does conventional look like? What does with the program look like? What does without the program look like? What makes the most sense to you? And then I'm going to allow you to choose because you know your situation better than I know your situation. I could recommend a side, so I'm not going to say that like what program is better than which, but I will say to anybody, if you are purchasing a house and you get a loan estimate, compare your loan, ask for comparables, because sometimes people just give like, yep, this is the best deal, here you go. And it's like, give me my options and let me pick, let me see what makes the most sense for me. So also buying a house is not like buying a car. After you get your first initial credit pool to buy your house, like to purchase a home, you can apply with as like many lenders as you need within like, I think it's the first 3 weeks, and then not have a negative effect on your credit because every lender is different. Like what lender A can do, lender B might not be able to do. And what lender C can do, lender D might be like, I could beat lender A and B, right? And so you want to shop around and see what makes the most sense, interest rate wise, cash to close wise, like who got the best deal, right? And just because one lender tells you no,
no matter.
No matter. You go to another lender, they might give you a yes.
You know what they say?
Yeah.
So we know you a person outside of realtor. So what you do on your free time?
Yeah, what you do for self-care? Like you're glowing, so like what you do?
I'm a mom.
Oh yes.
I'm a mom. I have a 16-year-old.
Ooh.
16. Teenagers.
Yeah, he'll be 17 this month.
What?
He about to be an adult.
Yes, on the 25th. So shout out to my kid.
Shout
out to the kid.
But outside of being a mom, I like to do. Y'all see me on the internet. I'm training for a marathon right now, so I'm like really excited about that.
Oh my God.
I'm running a half in Philly.
Yes, you're right.
I be struggling to run a mile, girl.
Listen, I was struggling when I first started. But ultimately, I'm very much like a live in the moment, enjoy the memory type person. So it's like whatever the vibes are for today. And like that's one thing that I do like love about real estate. It gives you the flexibility with your schedule. But yeah, like I'm kind of like just going with the wind.
So you got a special person? You single or you guys? What you doing?
Jesus Christ!
I'm just saying. They might want to know. They might want to know.
Yeah, because we need to know.
I thought I had the extra stage left for a second. I was like, damn, I'm telling. It's like, no.
Jesus Christ!
We said on there we get a little vulnerable, so that's
at the moment I'm single. I don't have nobody. I'm not. What's the word? I'm not spoken for. I'm not spoken for at the moment.
Okay.
She said ain't no ring on.
Nobody speaking for me.
With a rock out. She waiting.
But no, this is my number one question for you. Like, so this peace sign, ultimate peace sign.
If you know,
you know. Yes, you know.
This right here,
Wait. Before that, you got your little saying, do something something nice for somebody else, because you never know how much it will matter to somebody else. So yeah, let them know. What it's about.
So
how you get to that?
The peace sign came from, I read this book, and God, don't quote me on what book it was, but it has something to do with marketing. So I try to read. I'm not gonna sit on this here platform and be like, oh, I read books like in the masses, because I really don't. As much as I be telling myself like, go read a book, I'm gonna go read a ratchet book before I go read like a self-education book.
Yeah.
But I did read this book, and it was on marketing, and it was like the chapter was the power of subconscious marketing, and so it's. The peace sign for me is like my subconscious marketing. And so on my platform, I feel like I'm known for a few things, and that is real estate, coffee, and going to the gym. And with that, you will see a peace sign of I hope you move today. And the peace sign as annoying as this thing is, and as many times as like over the years, my friends have been like, Ashley, put it down. We don't want to see not near peace sign and not near photo, not never again. I read that like you can subconsciously embed yourself in somebody's subconscious mind with a sign or with like a thing. Because like think about it, if you see a check, you think of Nike. I could just be talking to you right now, and be like, yeah, you need to just do it. You're automatically going to think of Nike. When you see 3 stripes, you think of Adidas. These are things that we have subconsciously programmed in our mind. Like if you see a Target, that's not Target. You're automatically going to think of Target. When you see blue and yellow, you think of Walmart. These are things that have nothing to do with like the set store.
That's why legs crossing that piece.
When you see other people put up the peace sign, you automatically think of your preferred realtor. If you see the peace sign, you think of your preferred realtor. And I had somebody send me a donut in Vegas. It was a peace sign. It was like, oh my God, I saw this donut and thought of you. So it's just like my subconscious thing. Like it don't have nothing to do with real estate. Even like coffee. Like coffee don't have nothing to do with real estate.
You had matcha early. I seen that. That homemade.
We have to get into what's your favorite place to get coffee. We get in there.
But yeah, like coffee, right? When people think of coffee, they think of your preferred realtor. So it's all about like, how can I make people think of me without being like, do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a house? Do you want to buy a house? You know, because I think like that's a little bit like annoying. You know what I mean? Like, you want to buy a house? Like, what do? You want to buy a house? So it's like, these are like little things I've read in the book that said like, come up with something that is subtle but consistent, and you do it so many times that you eventually become known for it. Wow. So when y'all see this peace sign,
wow.
You know,
that's psychology for you.
I've worked for a long time, y'all. I've worked on a lot of shit tonight.
That's the power. And then the saying of don't forget to do something nice for somebody. What do I say? Hey guys, don't forget to be nice to somebody just because of wait. What do I say? I don't even know what I say. I can't. I don't know the words, but I don't know. Don't forget to do something that you've never done before. That like I live on that. Like step out of your box. I love to like do something that is most like random. It don't matter what it is. Like I think it's extremely important to do something that you've never done before, because we're constantly growing as people, and you don't know who you are if you don't step outside of your box, right? So you can't say that you don't like something if you've never tried it. And so it's just to have like that open mindset of, this might be new to me, or this might be foreign. This might not be something that like is my usual, but let me try it, because you don't know what you don't like until you don't try it, right? So that's where the don't forget, like try something that you've never done before, and then the don't forget to be nice to somebody just because the smallest things matter. I don't record this and I don't put it on the internet, but I often, like once a week, I go out and I pass out coffee to the homeless community, because as like, you know, like coffee is a thing for me, and for me coffee is more than just coffee. It's an experience, it's a drink. Like I went to Europe and I realized that Americans do coffee all the wrong way.
I want to get into that, girl, because she
but for like a
on that plane, give me on that plane. Just to get a coffee, I'm like, damn, my life.
It's an experience, and so like I pass out coffee to the homeless people, and the way that they appreciate just a cup of coffee, right? Like just a simple cup of coffee with cream and sugar. Literally, I've had conversations with them, and it really, one, it humbles you. And two, it keeps you like grounded and makes you more appreciative, and to just like you just never know what somebody's going through, right? Like you just never know. So I think it's important to like allow grace for people, and like again, the smallest things absolutely matter, and like don't do it looking for something in return. So that's where the just because comes in. Like, even if it's a stranger, it doesn't have to be like these. Usually I like to do it for people that I don't know because it's like, whatever.
It's more, I think it means more.
Yeah, it means a little bit more. And it's not like you're looking for anything in return. Like, just do it just because like, the smallest thing could matter. Like a smallest hello could matter to somebody. I will never forget the first time I was out there and I had asked one of the men, like, what's his name? I was like, what's your name? He was shocked. He was like in utter like disbelief, like, you want to know my name? And I'm like, yeah, like, what's your name?
Yeah, he like, shit, you want to talk to me?
I want to touch on something you just said, like within that. How you said you do it, but you don't post it on social media. And some people like, I agree with that. Some people do it for clout. Okay, you never want to use the less fortunate or homeless or anything for clout. So I appreciate that when you say you don't post it, but like, that is like motivation, because some people like, okay, let's go feed the homeless, let's give them socks and coats. But I would have never thought to be like, in the morning, let's go drop off some coffee to them, some hot coffee.
$2-3.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like, but like, even you just saying it, don't need to post on the internet, but for you to just say you do that, like, that just was like, damn.
That's nice.
Like, again, the smallest things.
Wow,
matter,
and that might
right?
and for me, when some people do post what they're doing to help people, you know, like the homeless. For me, it's motivation. It's like, damn, if they could, I could fucking take a few dollars and go help. Like, I could do that. Like, but then you got some people doing stuff for the wrong reason. So I get why the internet is not involved in it. But like, that just was like that. Yeah, I work downtown DC, so I see it all day, every day. And that right there.
And like, they're truly
like,
dehumanized. Wow. You know what I mean? And I think at any given moment, any of us can be in a situation where we're less fortunate, and
hell yeah.
It made me. I think the first time I did like a. It was crazy how it like came about. I had did a home buyers program or something, and I had like leftover coffee and food, and I didn't want to throw it away, and I was like, oh, let me go drop it off, and I will never forget the feeling that it gave me. Like, it felt so like.
You did.
Like humbling, and like the conversations that I've had with some of these people have definitely like given me different perspectives on just like life. Like this one lady, she told me, what did she say? I was like, you know, like, how long you been out here, type shit, and it's like, we got started conversation. Someone's story, right? So like, you guys started somewhere. Why? Like, what brought you here? And she was a lesbian, and basically her family had like disowned her, right? And I was like, well, do you ever think about like utilizing the resources and doing this and like trying to get back like on your feet? And it made me realize that some people choose that lifestyle for the stress not there, for the stress and the lack thereof, because she asked me, she said, every day you wake up and every day you're stressed, without even knowing me, right? And I was like, I mean, type shit. Like, every day you wake up and every day you stress, whether it's figuring out whatever, because like it's never enough. And she was like, when will it be enough for you? And I was like, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know when it's going to be enough. Or like, I don't know. But she gave me. Bastard.
He said, I'm trying to win. He's still, I'm trying to win.
What is it?
You reversed it. Oh, it's my go?
Yeah, baby. Yeah. Put it back this way. You ever seen that show Intervention though?
What
you talking about made me think about that. Intervention, where it be some people like you'll talk to them while they like a little sober and they be cool for real. Oh damn!
Uno.
And she got Uno.
But yeah, she was like, you know, and that made me realize that like, you know what? Every day I do wake up stressed. Like, not stressed in the capacity of like, oh my God, like I ain't like, but like stressed of like, all right, I need to make this shake. You got a plan. She wakes up in the morning. She said, I'm cool. Like sometimes I might be cold. Okay. I might not know where I'm gonna sleep at night, but like I don't have nobody looking for. I don't have nobody depending on me.
And no bills.
And having that somebody depend on you, like I was
that
like
is the
being a mom.
That's some kind of peace.
Stress is the number one killer though. Yeah. Stress is the number one killer for a lot of people.
Pay attention.
I'm trying to tell you.
House rules, you gotta pay attention.
I agree with that though.
Like people always ask me, like, you want more kids? Hell no.
One and done.
I have no desire to be responsible for another human being.
Like myself is enough.
Yeah, like that's that's not something that's
And I
like
got
on my
him, too.
top
Like,
things to do
I
list.
definitely feel that because, like you said, it's us, and then we got them,
And you gotta make sure they're like functioning members of society.
And then you still got everything else going on out here.
Yeah.
But you're not the only influence on your kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta.
I don't want to have kids. I have 6 brothers, and I can tell you right now, I'm the second oldest. You can only influence your kids, but so much, because the outside world gonna do a lot for you that you ain't mean to do.
Yeah, like I think
you ain't mean to do. Yeah, man.
Going through like that teenage stage of life, going through that teenage stage of life with Jalen, I had to come to the realization, like, I can't compete with social media.
You can't.
So, like, no matter what, I can't compete with them people. Like, I cannot compete with the internet, and it is what it is. Like, and I think, like, once I realized that, it, like, kind of changed my approach with how, like, you know, like, parenting all that, because there's no rule book. We be learning it.
Color is
with
blue.
it, how we go, but, yeah.
I agree with that because I remember one time, it was a few years back, my son came to us. We in the living room, we chilling, you know what I'm saying? He come out of the room, he like, oh, Mom, what's so-and-so?
You probably like, what the fuck?
I looked at him, we all looking at each other like, what? He like, what you mean?
I even know about that.
I'm like, nah, don't worry about it. He said, well, if you don't tell me, I'm going to just go Google it. I was like, wait a minute, come on, sit down, let me tell you. We going to tell you right now, because don't let the internet get a hold of your kids before you do. It's fine, because they gonna look it up.
They gonna find out.
But it's better if you tell them first. You know, give them the real first, because the internet, it ain't always the real. It's on me. Uno.
So speaking of the internet and social media, where can they find you at? Somebody want to, tap in with you?
My Instagram is YourPreferredRealtor, all one word, and Instagram. TikTok is RealtorBay_1025.
Uno out, baby!
There y'all have it, folks. We want to appreciate y'all for tapping in with us again. And Miss Ashley, your preferred realtor. So listen, if y'all need some help buying a house or some information, she already gave y'all the info to tap in. So make sure y'all tap in with her. And that's all our time. Until the next time.
Bye.